Good morning. You can tell I'm home, can't you? It is absolutely pissing it down. But I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't want to talk about today. I want to talk about last night. Because that was a good game of football. I enjoyed it. But more importantly, it was a big test for our young players. And a fantastic result for West Ham U21s against Swindon. And let's make no mistake about this. Swindon are no mugs. Second in League 2. Equal points with Walsall, who's above them. They're in good form. They've got momentum. They've got confidence. And they put out a good team. They wanted to win this game. It was clear with the lineup, and it was clear after the full-time whistle, and everything in between. Swindon wanted to win. They were taking this game seriously. Now, while I don't know much about Swindon or League 2 football, what I do know about the EFL trophies, sometimes League 1 clubs and League 2 clubs, they tend to bin it off. They tend to heavily rotate the side, make 10, 11 changes, don't take it too serious. It's a bit of a hindrance. They're focused on their league campaign. And I understand why. I get it. And even sometimes the under-21 teams of the Premier League clubs don't always take it seriously either. But that wasn't the case last night. And while I don't know enough about Swindon, I needed to find out. So when the lineup came out, I went on to Swindon's Twitter and had a look at their fan reactions. Because I wanted to gauge what they were thinking. A barometer. Give me something. Are you taking this serious? Is this a good team you're putting out? And the general gist, the majority were saying, a bit of rotation, still a strong team, we could win this game. Their fans were happy with the lineup Holloway put out last night. They were thinking they were going to go on and win that game as well. So before the game, I thought, brilliant, we've got a good test ahead of us. I was happy with the team that we put out, especially pleased to see George Earthy start the game as well. He was one I was looking at thinking, right, we need a big performance from you. Because being realistic, the only player that might be on the bench against Newcastle, out of the players that played last night, is Earthy. As much as some of us might want to see Mohamedou Kante starting, well, not starting, but being on the bench, being involved, it's unlikely. So Earthy's the only one with a realistic possibility. So we needed a big performance from him. Game got underway. I'll be honest with you. Swindon, I thought, started the better team for the first 10, 15 minutes or something like that. While they weren't troubling Heggie, they were seeing more of the ball, and I think we were struggling to enjoy possession. But that's okay. We're up against a really decent, experienced side who's got confidence, and you could tell a little bit. But we slowly grew into the game a little bit, and then we got our first sort of bit of confidence, our first bit of momentum going forward. Ajala scored. George Earthy got the assist, but it's one of them where the assist is it's an assist. Factually, it's an assist. But there was no extravagant pass or anything like that. He just passed to Ajala, who was on the left-hand side of the box, unmarked, and he had a lot to do. And he ran at his man. He was bold, he was brave, ran at his man, gave himself half a yard, put it across the goal. Decent finish, but I think the keeper should be doing better. If we're completely honest with ourselves, if that was a goal against us, I'd be pretty disappointed in the goalkeeper. But we went 1-0 up. And I felt like at that point we started to calm down a little bit and we started to enjoy more of the ball. I thought we were looking a little bit more confident after that goal. And 20 minutes later, just before half-time, we made it 2-0, Earthy with the goal. But this, I'll tell you what, this is a brilliant goal. I like this goal for many reasons. Because we do something that we don't do enough in terms of the senior squad, which is we press and we nick the ball. But not only do we do that, we then capitalise on it. Gollenbeck has pinched it in the middle of the pitch. It went to Josh Landers, who got his head up. Earthy made the run behind the Swindon defence. Lovely little ball. Smart finish by Earthy. 2-0 West Ham. And then when we went in at half-time, I was thinking, hey, this is all right. We're going to win. Because this was a must-win game. I should just add the context. We had to win. But so did Swindon. Whoever won went through. Whoever lost, out. So there was a lot riding on this one. It was an important game, hence why it was a fantastic result for us. Second half, we made one change at the break. Earthy went off, and you noticed a drop-off in quality. I think Earthy was the best player on the pitch in the first half. Do you know sometimes some players are they just have that quality. You can just tell they're a good footballer. And I think that was the case with Earthy in the first half. He wasn't heavily involved. He got a goal and assist to his name. But during the play, he wasn't necessarily heavily involved. But when he was, he just looked better than anyone else on the pitch. He just had that quality. So when he went off at half-time, and I understand why, he's just back from injury, It's a wise decision. I'd imagine it would have been a pre-agreed sub between everyone at the club that he would play 45, and that's it. No matter the circumstances, even if it's 0-0, we're 1-0 down, we're 3-0 up, no matter what we're doing, he comes off and he plays 45 minutes. So he was on the bench literally for the second half, encouraging the players and stuff like that, which is always good to see, because I think the under-21s will look up at players like Earthy as someone who's making that step up, or made that step up. He's played for West Ham, he scored for West Ham. So I think when you look at players like that who similar ages, he's probably their mate, you're thinking, there you go, there's a bit of proof, and he's sticking around. I like it to see the under-21s, not forget where they came from kind of thing, but I don't know, there's something about it. It's like when Rice used to go watch the under-21s when he was at West Ham, and he was captain of the club, and Noble did it as well. I don't know, there's something about it I quite like. I think it must mean a lot to those players. But anyway, second half, goals, 3 of them, 2 of them for Swindon. First goal was quite a good goal, to be fair. It was good play down the right hand side by Swindon, quick passing, got the ball in the box and got a good finish. Heggie couldn't do anything about it. The second one though was, let's call it as it is, it was, you know, pathetic defending. But before they got their second goal, we did make it 3-1. Landers with a goal, but again, another really good team goal by West Ham. Fearon nicks the ball outside our box, right? This is how deep we win the ball back, just outside our box. Fearon wins it, completely skins Swindon midfielder, and then pokes it through to Kante as he's being brought down. Kante picks it up and runs with it, and he can eat up the ground, that man can, and he did do that. But he held onto the ball just perfectly, because Landers was wanting the ball earlier than Kante released it. Ajala wanted the ball as well, but Kante just held on to it and he kept running at the Swindon defence. The easy decision would have been to give it early, but they were being well marked, both of those. I think the Swindon defence was actually doing the right thing. They were trying to block the passing channels from Kante, basically saying, you're going to have to take it yourself. So he did. But as soon as he got closed down, the player marking Landers stepped a yard, 2 yards towards Kante to close him down so he couldn't shoot. Bang, the pass went in from Kante to Landers. He had loads of time. First touch, lovely little finish. And he is clinical, Josh Landers. He's a very clinical striker. Now, I'm going to call it as I seen it, right? I'm feeling positive. So I apologise for the little bit of negativity here, but I want to give an honest account rather than just a fairy tale account here. Landers had missed a couple of big opportunities before he scored. He wasn't having the best game. There's a couple of real big chances for West Ham when it was 2-0, when it was 2-1, before we made it 3-1. He in particular was at the middle of it, and he didn't always make the best decisions. There was a very similar opportunity to the one he scored. He was the one on the ball, and his pass out to Ajala was all wrong, got easily intercepted and cleared and whatever like that. So he didn't have his best game. Outside the box, he wasn't the best, but he is a very clinical striker. I do like him, actually. It was quite a clever finish that he did, where he's sort of one-on-one, been getting closed down by a defender. He just puts enough on it just to lift it over the oncoming keeper. Good smart finish. 3-1 West Ham. And I felt confident we'd see the game out. But it started to get a little bit spiky, actually. And I think the second half, the Swindon players, and some experienced Swindon players as well, were rattled. Ian Holloway on the bench, their manager, he was rattled. He got booked, but he was barking at that fourth official for most of the second half about time wasting. He felt like we were time wasting, and a couple of occasions we probably were. The young players probably were just slowing the game down, taking their time, because it's an important game. We needed to win. Now, we've had this discussion before on this channel, myself and Frankie, about results versus player development. And I think sometimes player development should come first. But actually, in this competition, what I will say, I do think results is the priority. You got to win. Go on and win this trophy. Because this would be a significant victory. If we could win this trophy, it would be huge. It was 3-2. Bad defending by us. Batcham gave the ball away, then closed it down really well. So he wasn't the issue. Made a mistake, made up for it. But the shot looped into the box, and it was possibly the only time in the entire game our defence really switched off. Colin Beckis, in particular, just completely switched off. Good finish, but there was 2 Swindon players on the penalty spot completely unmarked, and the ball just dropped down to them. And they had their chances to make it 3-3. They hit the bar. Heggie made an outstanding save very late on. Absolute free-hander, 6 yards out maybe. The save from Heggie is remarkable. Gets down really low and gets a good push on the ball as well. And it gets followed up, and it should hit the back of the net, but somehow they put it wide. And we've seen the game out, but it wasn't without, say, controversy. Every 30 seconds went by, and I mean 30 seconds, Swindon just got more pissed off, and we won. We got the win, which was good. And then there was a bit of handbags after the game. But do you know what? I loved it. I absolutely loved it. That's what we're missing. The senior squad, that's what we're missing. Now, we got a sending off. Brown got sent off after the game. McGregor got sent off for Swindon. I don't know what Brown did. I think he might have hit someone. I'm not 100% sure. It looked like he sort of swiped at someone, because after the game, it was kicking off on the pitch. And it started, you know what, I'm going to say, it started in the dugout with Ian Holloway, I think, was the one that was riling everyone up. He was just barking at everyone. A little chihuahua he was. Going at everyone non-stop. Got a yellow card for it, but just kept going. I think he should have been sent off. I think the referee should have got him out of that dugout, because he was causing problems. He was just barking at everyone. So by the time the game finished, everyone was riled up. Swindon players are pissed off. And I thought we coped really well with it. I don't know who Clark is. He looks like an older player. He was their captain, number 8. And I had a look. He played in the last game at the weekend against Mansfield. Just having a look at seeing how many players played in the previous game, the league game. There's quite a few of them. But he in particular was leaving a couple of late challenges on a couple of players. Not, studs up or nothing, but Batcham got it. He cleared it. And about half a second later, Clark just sort of like ran into him, knocked him to the floor. And obviously the referee says, get up. But that's why it's a good test for our young players. They're not playing with similar size players when they play this competition. They're playing against big men, experienced men that know how to leave something in late on and stuff like that. And I thought we coped really well with it. Golan Beckers gave it back at one point. It went out for a throw-in, actually. It just went over the line, a throw into West Ham. And the Swindon player cleared it, and Golan Beckers just left a little bit in on him and got a booking for it. But you know what? I'm not against it. I like seeing that, because you can easily get bullied, especially when your team's made up of 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and you're coming up against an experienced team like Swindon. You could easily find yourself getting bullied in that match. And I think Swindon tried it. I think they thought, oh, we're better than them, and we're going to turn up and rough them up, and we're going to bully them, we're going to intimidate them. And they tried to. It did not work. Our players stood up. Fearon's not the biggest player in the world. He's quite small. But even he was giving it large at the end of the game. He was getting stuck in, saying, I'm not having this. You lot are taking the piss. And I absolutely loved it at the end, because it started on the pitch, and then it sort of stopped. And some of the players started heading over to the away fans. Then it kicked off again. And those players turned around and ran straight back in to get involved. Love it. That togetherness, that bit of aggression, that little bit of, you know what, we're not intimidated by you, we're going to give it back to you. I like that as a fan, and I think the senior squad could do with a little bit of that, actually, because I think we get bullied at times. We don't try and buff anyone up or something. So massive well done to everyone involved last night. That was a big result for us. For context, Manchester City under-21s, who are playing some names that you might recognise. Both Heskies were playing, McAdoo was playing. So they've got some good youngsters out there, that Man City team. They got beat 4-2 by Rotherham, and they can't get... They're out the trophy now. Now, the knockout... the group stage hasn't come to conclusion yet. There's still more games in a couple of weeks' time with other teams. So we won't know who we've got in the knockout for a little while. But we're through, and that's the most important thing. Dropped my phone there. We're through. That's the most important thing. But it was enjoyable last night. One thing I will add, actually, very quickly. Cummings, what a touch. He came off the bench after his injury. Joined us in the summer. Been out injured with a shoulder injury. Had surgery on it. He came off the bench for Landers. And he wasn't very involved. He wasn't involved. But Heggie took a goal kick. So the ball's travelled, 70 yards or something. And Cummings is just inside Swindon's half. The ball's coming down. Just killed it. One touch. Just brought it down out there, down to his feet, looked up and played it. It was, honestly, it was an outstanding first touch. I was I don't know what to expect of Cummins. Heard good things about him from Celtic, B team and all that, but watching that first touch was incredible. I think you could do that type of pass to a lot of players and they wouldn't be able to do what he just did. Honestly, he killed it dead from a goal kick at his feet with a defender behind him as well. It was outstanding. A lot of big performances last night. I thought Batcham was really good at right wing back. Had a big job defensively. Fearing was really good at midfield. Conte was involved. The only thing I've got about him is I think sometimes he can be quite ill-disciplined when it comes to positioning. He likes to get forward and he gets forward a lot, but I think sometimes he gets forward and is a little bit slow to get back in. That's the only thing, but there's a lot of something to work with Conte. I do like a lot of what I see, and I think a good coach can really mould him and get him into a much better player. I think he's improved since he first arrived at West Ham, actually. When I first watched him earlier on this season, I do think there's a lot of improvements. His passing's improving game by game as well, which is quite important. Ajala was really busy out on the left. I think, like I said, Earthy was brilliant in the first half. If I had to pick a man of the match, I think I'd give it to Fearing. Really busy in the middle of the pitch, just quality, and that involvement for our third goal, nicking it, taking a player on, releasing it. 3 different aspects of the game, but he did each bit just beautifully. A really good game of football. I enjoyed it. I feel like a positive panda watching West Ham U21s last night. Well done. I'm looking forward to seeing who we get in the knockout stage. And this is a difficult competition. Any team that's in the knockout stage, I think it's fair to say they're taking this competition seriously. So I think it might get tougher. But last night, Swindon were no mugs. They turned up. They tried to bully us. We weren't having it. We outplayed them. We outfought them. Great win. Well done to all involved last night. Anyway, I'm off. We get my hood up and get back inside. Thank you very much for joining me. If you've enjoyed this video, please do drop a like on it. Sky and your Hammers chat. Catch you in a bit.